We have big challenges as a nation going forward. There are challenges with our economy, there are challenges with inequality in our society, but there are also international challenges as well in defence and our national security. Challenges that have been highlighted by the Russian invasion of Ukraine, but challenges as well that are in the Indo-Pacific region. Indeed, we have already submitted our position of our nationally determined contribution to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. We've already submitted that. We're able to do that at 43% by 2030. That's a position that we announced last December, that we campaigned on very transparently with fully costed policies that will create 604,000 new jobs, that will see 82% of our energy market in the national energy market come from renewables, and will create new industries and new opportunities. We have a mandate for it. We intend to pursue it. I'd say to both the coalition but also to the crossbenchers that Australians, and indeed the business community in particular, wants this parliament to move on from the old days of division. We had 22 energy policies announced by the former government and none of them implemented. We have one policy, we'll implement it.
Prime Minister,
one at a time.
Given that we're outside the church today, what are you going to be doing for them in this November?
That I respect people of faith, and that all people, regardless of their faith, should be respected. That's something that I've always done, and something that my government will do as well. We will address the issues of religious discrimination and the need to legislate there. We will do that during the term of Parliament. We'll do it in a way which is much more consultative and brings people together in a way that I hope characterises the way that my government functions.
Prime Minister, what is the
Here and then there.
The coalition has said that it's worried that the 43% target will place a tax on all Australians, and has accused your government of acquiescing to the Greens' demands. What are your responses to some of those comments?
You know, that they need to basically mature a bit. You know, really. They had 22 policies. They didn't land one of them. To argue that there is no mechanism that can be described in that way, where indeed using the safeguard mechanism that was established under the Abbott government.
And just on the Greens demands, how are negotiations going, and are you willing to accommodate any of those changes that they're requesting to a climate change bill?
Well, we have our mandate, which is very clear. Our mandate is for 43% by 2030. We've said, of course, the nature of these targets are that it's a floor, not a ceiling. But we actually need to have a plan to get change. You can't just come up with a figure or come up with a sort of thought bubble. Our policy is well thought through. It was announced. It was campaigned upon. Indeed, it received a mandate. And I lead a government with a majority in the House of Representatives. And I say to all those who are thinking of voting against this legislation, that's a matter for them. We'll get on and implement the policy, which we don't need to legislate for. But they should have a look back at the last 10 years where there's been a lost decade. And they should think about the fact that our policy is being supported by the Business Council of Australia, the Australian Chamber of Commerce and Industry and the Australian Industry Group on the business side, all of the business peak organisations. That should be something that the coalition think about. And on the other side, the Australian Conservation Foundation, Greenpeace and mainstream people in the environmental movement are also saying, vote for this bill.